Okay guys, in this video we are going to talk about median. So we're going to learn how to find the median of a data set. So let's start off just by talking about what the median is. So the median is the middle value of a set of data once it's been placed in descending order. One of the biggest things we have to remember to do when we are finding the median is to always place the median in descending order, meaning we want the smallest number to the largest number. We also talk about the median as being quartile 2 or Q2, sometimes referred to. Quartiles are something that we'll talk more about when we get into chapter 4, and we'll talk about what the quartile 1 and quartile 3 are. But for now, let's just talk about median. So notice that in this particular instance, median does not have to be an actual value in our data set. So it can be, and that's perfectly fine, but sometimes it won't be an actual value in our data set, and that is also okay. I mean, the same thing happens with mean. If you think about that, mean can sometimes be a value in our data set, but for the majority of the time, mean is not. So the steps to finding the median really depend on if you have an odd number of data points or an even number of data points. But either way, the first thing that you're going to do when trying to find the median is to put your numbers in numerical order from smallest to largest. If you have an odd number of data points, the median is literally the middle number. So you just have to figure out what the middle number will be. If you have an even number of data points, then we have to average the center two numbers. And I'm going to give you an example of both of these, one with an odd number of data sets and one with an even number of data points. So let's start with our first example. So we said considering the following test scores for a psychology test, and we want to find the median of the data. So if you were to count the number of test scores I just gave you in this problem, you'd find that there are 11 test scores. That's awesome because that is an odd number of test scores. Now again, remember, no matter what, we are going to put this data in order. So if I do that, I get this list of the data points starting with 54 ending at 98, which is our high score. Now since there are 11 data points, one of the easiest ways I found to figure out the median when you have an odd number of data points is to take that 11, divide it in half. So 11 divided by 2 is going to give us 5.5, and just round that up to the sixth. So basically what that means is our sixth data point is going to be our median. So all we're going to have to do to find that is we're just going to start at 54 and count our way up. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 83 is our median. And one thing I want you to notice when you look at 83, if I look to the left of 83, notice that I have 5 data points to the left. And if I look to the right of 83, we also have 5 data points to the right. Because remember, your median is literally the middle of your data. And so 83 is the middle of our data. Now let's look at one where we have an even number of data sets. So this is the data set for ACT scores at a sample high school, or a local high school, excuse me. And we have 14 data points. Now again, remember, no matter what, we still have to put these ACT scores in order from the smallest to the largest. So if we go ahead and do that, we get this list starting with 6 and ending at 35. So what we're going to do is I like to go ahead and do the same thing we did on the last one. We're going to divide this 14 in half. That's going to give us 7. So what we're going to do is, starting with a 6, we're going to count up to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But instead of saying that 24 is our median, we're actually going to group the next two numbers, the 24 and the 25, together. So if we do that, notice just like before, this time we have 6 data points to the left and 6 data points to the right. So we have divided our data directly in half by taking the center 2. So now what we're going to do to find the median is we're actually going to add the 24 plus 5 together and divide it by 2. That's how we make an average, right? We add the data points together and divide by how many we added. So that's going to give us 49 divided by 2, or 24.5. And again, notice that 24.5 is not part of our data set, but that is our median, or the center of our data. If you'd like any more examples of finding the median, please let me know.